Hey, Richard Bryce here, tennis hacker. In this video, I want to show you how to instantly get more racket head speed on your forehand by using a really simple but really cool neuro hack. So we're going to be doing some testing and retesting to see if we can give you more racket head speed and power right now. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, really appreciate it if you could do that as well. Okay, so because of the way the body works, there's often some really simple stuff that we can do to improve our movement efficiency. And when we make our movements more efficient, it allows us to quickly improve racket head speed, which is obviously the key to developing more power on your forehand. So what we're going to do is you're going to test either some shadow swings or some strokes. So if you want to do shadow swings, you're just going to do a few swings and kind of make a note of the sound, make a note of how it feels, or you could get out on court, drop yourself a few balls, or potentially you could be having a coach feed you a few balls, or you could just be rallying with your partner for 5 or 6 balls. After you've done that, we're then going to do a drill, and the drill that we're going to work on is a spinal mobilization, and then you're going to go back into those shadow swings or back into just your little rally or whatever you're doing, and see how it feels. And for most people, you're going to find that there is a significant improvement in how it feels, and there'll be an increase in racket head speed. So that's the plan. Now what I'm going to do is show you a simple form of the mobilization, because you can test that out, and then we're going to go into a slightly more complicated mobilization so you can test that out. Okay, so because of the way the body works, there's often some really simple stuff that we can do to improve our movement efficiency. And when we make our movements more efficient, it allows us to quickly improve racket head speed, which is obviously the key to developing more power on your forehand. So what we're going to do is you're going to test either some shadow swings or some strokes. So if you want to do shadow swings, you're just going to do a few swings and kind of make a note of the sound, make a note of how it feels, or you could get out on court, drop yourself a few balls, or potentially you could be having a coach feed you a few balls, or you could just be rallying with your partner for 5 or 6 balls. After you've done that, we're then going to do a drill, and the drill that we're going to work on is a spinal mobilization, and then you're going to go back into those shadow swings or back into just your little rally or whatever you're doing, and see how it feels. And for most people, you're going to find that there is a significant improvement in how it feels, and there'll be an increase in racket head speed. So that's the plan. Now what I'm going to do is show you a simple form of the mobilization, because you can test that out, and then we're going to go into a slightly more complicated mobilization so you can test that out. So the drill itself is we're just going to try and mobilize the thoracic spine or the upper back. This is a really key area for all of our strokes. So forehand, backhand, serve, we need to have decent movement in this area. But it's also an important area neurologically for a lot of different reasons. So what we're going to do is we're going to mobilize this area, and then you're going to retest. So hopefully before you do this, you've done some shadow swings or whatever you're doing. Now I'll show you how to do the mobilization, and then you're going to retest. So the basic version is I'm going to think about lengthening my spine. So I'm thinking about lengthening the top part of my spine and just kind of lifting my chest as high up to the ceiling as I can. I'm then going to round my spine back. So I'm not thinking about pulling my head down. My head is going to come down, but that's not what I'm focusing on. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to round the spine back, and I'm trying to get a mobilization in between all of the kind of upper vertebrae and the spine. But when you're doing it, it'll look like this. So I'm just trying to lift the chest, and then I'm trying to round the chest back. Now, as you can see, I'm giving myself a cue. I'm just trying to push my chest back to encourage my spine to mobilize. But that's all you're going to do. Just a simple mobilization. 3 to 5 reps should be enough. So you'll just lift up to the ceiling, round it back, lift up to the ceiling, round it back. Just a few times. Then you're going to retest your shadow swings and see how it felt. Now, if you have a problem mobilizing this part of the spine, because a lot of adult tennis players, especially slightly older players, have a real poor level of mobility in this area of the spine, it's going to create huge problems for you on court. So I've made another video, which I'll place a link to in the description, that's going to show you some things that you can do to improve your spinal mobility. But otherwise, try it, retest it, and then now I'll grab my racket and I'll show you a slightly more advanced variation so you can test that as well. Okay, so you've seen the basic spinal mobilization, and there's a good chance that just by doing that, you've got a little racket head speed, but I want to show you a slightly more advanced variation. What we're going to be doing on this one is we're going to be setting up in a more shot-specific position and then going for a mobilization. So I want you to do a mobilization in 3 different places, and depending how flexible and mobile you are, this can feel really awkward, but we're going to retest it and we're going to see what effect it had on you. So I'm just setting up in a semi-open stance. I could be in an open stance, I could be in a neutral stance. Doesn't matter as much, but now I'm kind of going into my set position as if I'm just about to start my racket drop and drive through my hip. So I'm going to be in position, I'm going to have my head looking down the court like it would be, and then in that position, I'm just going to try and do 3 of these mobilizations. From there, I'm then going to come into a contact point position, again with my head in the position it would be. I'm going to go for 3 mobilizations. Then I'm going to follow through and be in a follow through position. Obviously, generally my leg would be in a slightly different position, but we don't need to worry about it for now. My head is still looking the other way. Again, go for a few different mobilizations in that position. And then you're going to retest. So however you tested before, whether you just did the shadow swings, or whether you were rallying, or whether you were hitting a ball, just see how it feels, see whether you got any increased racket head speed or not. And again, for a large number of you, this is going to make a huge difference very quickly, because there's a few reasons for it, but the simple way to think about it is the more efficiently your body moves, the more effective that you're going to be in terms of the way that you can generate efficient power and the way that you can hit the ball. So there's a couple of ways that you can use this. Obviously, one simple thing that you can do, you can add this sort of thing to, your warm-up so that you do it on a regular basis. So that's one thing that I would definitely think about doing. You can also use this during your practice and matches. So when you're practicing, you're working on your forehand. So maybe you're doing a couple of drills, you work on your drill for a minute, and then you just kind of do a couple of mobilizations, get your body functioning in a more efficient way, go back, work on your drill for a minute or whatever you're doing, and you just kind of do it intermittently as you work on your forehand. And by doing that, it's basically going to help you to improve your forehand faster, because you're going to learn to move more efficiently when you're hitting the ball. Obviously, if you're playing a match, you probably don't want to be doing it after every point. Well, I mean, you could do it after every point, but you can certainly do a variation of it at the changeover without your opponent thinking you're insane. You can certainly just kind of, if you're feeling a little bit tight at some point in the match, you walk to the changeover or do whatever, and you just kind of set up in position and just do a couple of quick mobilizations. That can be a really effective way to kind of loosen your body up during a match and then get you out there hitting the ball a little bit more smoothly. So, test it out, see how you get on. Some people, when they watch this, are going to go, that is absolutely ridiculous, that doesn't work, you're an idiot, why are you making stupid videos like this? So for those of you that actually do test this, it'd be awesome if you could leave some comments down below and let me know how you get on, because I like to hear that sort of stuff, but also let other people know so that then they might be tempted to try it and it can help their game as well. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, before you go, I want to let you quickly know about a masterclass I've got for you. If you did get benefits from this, then you'll probably enjoy the masterclass, because it's all about brain-based training, things that you can do to improve your timing, your ball tracking, your shot control, your consistency, all that good stuff. I'll place a link down below, and I'll place a link up there so you can check that out. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time.